try not to hold people accountable for their lack of education and their lack of awareness. I try not to call people stupid or dumb, right? Um, People can educate themselves. They just have to be willing to learn. The issue is we have a large group of people in America, and they have ideas, philosophies, perspectives that many of us don't understand, and we call them stupid for that. We call them dumb for that. We call them uneducated, and a bunch of slurs. We say that they align with a political side, but what we don't understand is these are people who never self-questioned. These are not people. These are these are actors. But the sad thing is they don't even understand that they are actors. They have been conditioned from childhood to be the person they are today. And their whole life they have strived to check off boxes so that they could fit into the shoes that was predetermined for them. Not that I don't believe in free will. I do believe in free will. But in order to have free will, you have to have the ability to question yourself. You have to have the ability to self deconstruct and ask yourself the hard questions and be willing to admit when the way you see reality isn't quite correct and be willing to adapt to that and be willing to be wrong. These people have been conditioned from childhood, molded, thoughts planted, identity has been attached to things. I am an American, right? That. Don't get me wrong. I believe you should be proud to be in America, right? You should be proud to be what my ideology of an American is. But some people cannot separate the people from the symbolism, from the idea, right? I pledge allegiance to the flag. The Pledge of Allegiance was something that was widely done when I was young. And even at that moment in time, children were being conditioned, children were being molded to be good, obeying citizens of the USA. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. What is the flag? What does it represent to you? Because what that represents to one person might not represent to another person. It's very ambiguous. You're not pledging allegiance to the people of America. Some people say that that flag is symbolism for the nation, right? But some people still can't separate nation from country, right? And a country is a regime, right? We are a country of people. We are the people of the USA. We are citizens of the USA. But does the flag symbolize us as a people? No, the flag symbolizes the history of our country, the history of our Constitution, of our federal government, of the ruling class that is making the decisions. That's what it is. It is a way of conditioning people to be loyal to an idea. It is no different than a person who sees themselves as Christian and doesn't question anything in the Bible and accepts everything in the Bible, right? And then when somebody puts one of those things in question, that person gets offended because now they feel attacked. This is my reality, and you're questioning my reality. I'm not wrong. You're wrong, right? And Midnight Mass is a really good show if you haven't seen it. And it is a good example of how somebody can take what you believe in, an idea, a concept, right? And twist its meaning. And because you never self-examined, you never decided or questioned why you believe in the things that you believe in, right? If you say something like, my religion is being a good person, then you have to define what good is. And if your good is based on bad, you have to define what bad is, because otherwise it becomes a circular logic. And if you don't question the circular logic, at that point, it's going to support itself. And that doesn't make any sense. Something can't support itself. In Midnight Mass, their religion was completely twisted into something, and the people slowly twisted with it. Their morals changed, their ethics changed, and their new morals became that these horrible things that we're doing is acceptable, because that is the new interpretation of this book. That's the new interpretation of this religion that I'm a part of, this cult mindset that I have, right? And that's no different than being in America and being conditioned, right? Stand for your people. Stand for the working class. Stand for the people that are struggling. We should want to take care of one another. We shouldn't want to blame other states, right? Because states are locally governed. States are locally ran. It's the federal government that decides that your taxes go to something. And we want to get angry at one another, us, the states. We want to get angry at other states because of how they're spending their allotment of federal funding. When in reality, if we look at federal expenses on things that many of us probably don't agree on, right? It's way bigger. We're like complaining about $1 million in one section, but then we're completely ignoring $1 billion. Or we're complaining about $1 billion, but then we're completely ignoring $1 trillion. We're picking and choosing. We're picking and choosing what to be angry at. We are falling for the tactic to divide us, so that we don't focus on the thing that actually matters, right? The thing that is like, we don't need to be spending our federal funding on these things. Teachers should be paid more. Children, all children, should have the right to the same education. So, while these people may exist and we may not understand why their mind works the way that it does, understand that in reality, they never had a choice in it. They've been conditioned to be the person that they are. They've been conditioned to believe the things that they believe, to believe that what the government tells them is the best for them, right? That's why you just do what the government says. Just comply, just obey, even though that literally goes against what our Constitution says. These people are picking and choosing in the same way that, some Christians or some other people will pick and choose things that their reality is based off of. They'll make up excuses, or they'll make up double standards of why it's okay to do it in one way, but it's not okay to do it in another way. These people have been groomed and conditioned and molded to be good American citizens, right? Doesn't mean good people. That means you're a good, lawful, obeying cog in the machine, and that you support the machine. And that's what the machine wants. The machine wants the cogs to support it, because if they don't, the machine doesn't work. So try to educate these people, because the real enemy is ignorance. The real enemy is a lack of awareness of the total everything that's happening. That's the real enemy. And if you attack these people, they're going to curl up into a ball. They're going to get defensive. They're not going to listen. They're going to get stubborn, right? You have to be nice to them. If you want to change them and you want to open their mind, you have to be nice to them, right? Because if you're mean to them, you're just an enemy. That's what you're doing, is you're making yourself into an enemy. I don't want to listen to somebody who's attacking me. Nobody wants to listen to somebody who's attacking them, right? If you're going to attack them, don't attack their personal character. Question the things that they believe in. Ask them the question and get them to answer.